Welcome, guys. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Sylvia, to this beautiful Zoom Right Voice for You. I invited everyone for us to talk about Right Voice for You, is our title today, because for me, Sylvia Puentes is one of those first people that invite us to this space of possibilities with the expression that we are. So, welcome, Sylvia. So happy to receive you here today.
Bon dia, buenos dias. And I am so happy to be here with you in this conversation of, having your voice, being your voice in the world is something that I get even more now is essential for us to create from the space that's more of us than living in reaction to everything and everyone else.
Wow. And what is being our voice, Sylvia, for you?
Mm-hmm. So for me, if I could just say, Right Voice for You is a specialty class of Access Consciousness. And and what I mean by specialty is that there's a lot of, different classes. And then there's some that branch out and have no prereqs. So anybody in the world can come. And so Right Voice for You invites people, it could be singers, actors, people who are looking to be more present in their conversations, perhaps people who are entrepreneurs and are looking to go out more in the world with their product. So it could be anyone, really. And the gift of facilitating this class now for about 8 years, I believe,
Wow.
is that I've gotten to see all around the world that many of our stories of what keeps us hiding are very similar. So for
That's so
me, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, go, please tell us what
Well,
is for
so
you.
for me, Right Voice for You, and this was the invitation this class was for me, was to allow me to be really present to what was true for me. And there was a space of vulnerability, a space of where I kind of dropped the masks, dropped the walls. I got to see it when other people were being facilitated in class, and then I chose it. And in that moment, I thought, this is the world that I'd like to see. This world where we allow ourselves to be seen, to be heard, not worry about getting it perfect. And that space is vulnerable. We think we have to show up a certain way. We think we need to sound a certain way. And when you get to more of the energy and the space and the consciousness of you, everything else is more ease. Your business will expand. There will be more joy in your living. And that's what I desire for the entire planet, at least those that are willing to choose it.
That's so amazing because for me this is freedom. And
Yes.
wow, this is freedom to be you, to express yourself. And there is a space where I've been receiving this last day since I've been with you in El Lugar that is for sure one of the most beautiful places and magic places that I've been on earth. Is like, oh my God, I'm counting the days to come back. And I was receiving so many people talking about how much they would like more clients or speak English, or they would like to have this space of them just being them. That's what they were asking. I'd like to just express myself in English. I would like just talk to people, to clients, and invite them to come to my business with more freedom.
Yes. And we often think that we have to do something to be able to have our businesses grow and all. And yes, there's actions, of course, there's actions to take, but there's an invitation in your being that when you open up to that and you open up to receiving, then languages and many things in your life become more ease, like you learn them quicker, or you access what you know. It's amazing because I've seen people where there was one moment I think that really added something for me. A lady had asked me to help her with a translation. She was speaking Spanish, so I went up to the mic with her. She asked her question in Spanish, I translated it in English, and then after maybe two or three sentences, she kept speaking in English. And then she would look at me, and then I was just like, keep going, I'm here, keep going. She must have been up at the mic 10, 15 minutes being facilitated back and forth. And then at the end, it was Gary Douglas who was facilitating. I said, whoa, 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 what just happened? I've seen this occur many times. Like, what is this? What is it where people say they can't and then they can? And he said, what space of allowance were you being that allowed her to access everything she knows and bees? I said, oh, that space, the space of allowance. So for many people that are looking to speak another language, practicing learning to speak another language, there's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of judgment they have about themselves. There's a lot of judgment they're aware that other people have about them or speaking a second language. So as we receive those energies, we tend to want to block them. And so that willingness to not have a point of view, have fun with the language, drop your barriers. You know, this is like me with Portuguese. It's like I can understand probably 90-95% if someone's speaking to me. It's the moment where I go to my head, I don't know Portuguese, or I've seen people do that you cut it off. So what would it be like to be in that space of allowance for you? It's like, all right, so if I say it wrong, I say it wrong. I mean, I have a lot of fun. I speak Spanish and English, and I tell everybody I don't speak either one correctly. So when I'm speaking Spanish and I can't pronounce something, I laugh at myself. Or when I say something in English backwards, okay, I don't make it significant. I don't make it mean anything. So everywhere that you have made it mean something about your pronunciation, the sound of your voice, everywhere you made it mean you're smart or dumb, any of that keeps you from having the joy and the fun of receiving languages and speaking other languages, well, you destroy and uncreate it all.
Oh, yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pack, all 100 shorts, boys, povats, creation spaces, and beyonds. And for those of you that don't know what that is, maybe we'll put a link. Access Consciousness has what we call the clearing statement, and you can find out more at theclearingstatement.com. But basically what we're doing is getting to the energetics of what we have stuck with our points of views that limit what we'd like to have show up with more and more ease. And I know, Monique, you have, an incredible story, even with you speaking more English.
Yes. And this is something so amazing that you're bringing up because, well, I studied English for my whole life. Who doesn't know that? Since I was 8. And I was like, my mom was like, you must speak English. That's really important for your professional life. And you're going to travel the whole world and you must speak English. And I was like, okay, but I couldn't. It was so weird. I did classes and I went there. And when I was starting to speak with people, it was like, oh. It was so weird. It was all blocked. And then I met you on 2021 after a CFP with Brandon in Brazil, in São Paulo.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was amazing because I went with you in some bodies workshops. Mm-hmm. At that time, I was starting facilitating bars classes and all. And it was so amazing to be at that space where I was speaking with you guys, my best English possible. But when you brought up the right voice for your class, I was like, oh my God, this is for me. Yeah. And I was starting talking to you about that. And then you invited me to host this class in Brazil at that time. And I didn't even know what hosting was. And there was I in an English conversation and with these blocks and even sending voice messages. And then I did the class. And with that class, I did that class and I did 9 trainings. And I really would like to talk to you about those two playing together, because I did with you the right voice for your class. And right after I started 9 trainings, it was like boom for me. Those blocks, they totally disappeared. And I was like, okay, I know how to speak English. Let's go, baby. And it was so interesting because I started playing in your gaggle. And after that, like 2 months later, I was playing in Anthony's Maddie's gaggle. Mm-hmm. It was, holy crap, now I speak English every day. So that was the little change of like almost 25 years studying English and not speaking. And right after these classes, like you know? So
Yeah. And
I'm
I
glad
have to
invited you
say,
to talk about this, please.
wow, one of the things that I've been so grateful for the Access Consciousness tools, from the very first time I went to a live class, I remember going, oh, I do know something. See, I lived, maybe some of you, I lived all my life thinking I didn't know anything. I grew up thinking everybody knew more than me and that I had to look to everybody else, right? So when I came to Access, and the tagline of Access is empowering you to know that you know. That gift, all the tools are designed to open up the doors, open up the space, so you begin to know what it is that you know. So from that space, if we speak about 9 trannies, these are 9 capacities that you be. You have to be willing to open up this space of what it is that you know and what's true for you that maybe no one else knows or that no one else will ever acknowledge you for. So that space and that playfulness of going, wow, what else do I know? But you have to be willing to let go of the judgment. You have to be willing to let go of the lies. So one of the very first tools that began to open up a space to get to what I knew was the tool light and heavy. Because all the lies will always be heavy, right? If your mind starts to think, dun, 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 it's heavy, 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 that's probably because there's a lie there. So then ask yourself, wait a moment, is that true? No. Wow. Okay. The moment you acknowledge it's not true, notice the space that opens up in your body and your being. It's like, oh, it's not. Then what is true? And many of us are refusing to acknowledge what is true because oftentimes it's that greatness of you that you never imagined was you. So when that journey for me, I've been playing with the Access Consciousness tools now for 15 years, and I still feel like a tiny baby. So if it's your first year, your first day, please don't compare yourself with anyone. Allow yourself to have the space of you. So in those 15 years, it's been a beautiful journey, and Right Voice for You continues to be a class that invites me to really acknowledge the power and the potency when you have allowance for you. Because then you allow yourself to make mistakes or a choice that maybe wasn't your best choice, and you keep going. You keep going. And then with 9 trannies, I mean, for me, that's a playground to explore and play with the seen and unseen in a way and receive way, way more. That we just started the 9 Tranny series. And so I'm so grateful for the people that choose it because there's something that there's something is possible. It's kind of like when you watch those superhero movies. I don't know if it happens to you, Monique, but I've watched some superhero movies. I think it was the Guardians of the Galaxy that came out, the first one. And after that movie, it's like, oh, if they can be superheroes, I can be a superhero too. When I was in kindergarten and they asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I want to be Wonder Woman. It's like, hello. So it's that space of going, what would you like your life to be like? What are you asking for? And, the Access Consciousness tools, the classes is one way. There's many ways. But the invitation for me, that's been super fun, these tools, these classes, and it continues to have me open up new possibilities. Now living here in El Lugar in Costa Rica, never did I dream of it. And yet I walk around like a little girl going, oh my God, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. And how did I get so lucky?
And receiving from all this place everywhere and engaging with everyone and everything. And that's so beautiful that you're inviting because, yes, when I did the 9 trainings, I was like, oh my God, we are like superheroes. And this is something so cool because I was this morning, I think, or last night, not even recall anymore, but I was like, wow, I can change this. This is heavy. Okay, but I can change this. And I was looking to the lies and looking to the truth of the situation and asking for the change of the things, and the change appeared. just
Yes.
because I chose to be everything that I am, you know,
Yes.
and recognize the abilities that we have. So for me, when you bring up the voice, the right voice for you and the nine trainees, is this space of really inviting us to see what else is possible that before never one considered or even like told us that that doesn't exist. You're crazy, lady, you know. That's way too far for you. You can do that, you know. That's things about for angels. You're not no angel to change stuff like that. So that's so beautiful and so amazing the energy that you're bringing. So thank you so much for that. That's so cool.
And I love that, Monique, that you really were in a space and were present with you going, like, what can I change here? Can I change this? And if yes, how? I mean, this is the gift of the Access Consciousness tools. It's always about you asking a question so much that you get to go around to what is true. So you discover that's not true. What's true? Okay, what can I change? Can I change this? And with that, you have to be willing to receive.
Yes.
And that was another thing that for me, I never considered myself a seeker. So when I started Access, I was like, I'm just living my life. I'm not a seeker. Yet when I got to Access, I'm all, this sounds so fun. You mean I get to change physical things, and I don't have to suffer, like, and I'm not wrong. Like, what? But in that space of increasing your receiving, allowing yourself to receive more, I was taught that it's better to give than receive, that you're a better person if you give, and that if you receive too much, you're wrong. Now, that is such a lie, such a lie. So, everywhere any of you have bought the lie that it's better to give than to receive, that keeps you from receiving everything you can receive, that it would allow you to simultaneously gift way more. Will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pan pack, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, creation spaces, and beyonds. And if I can invite everyone to a short little exercise, can I do that?
Yes, for sure.
So, oftentimes when we have judgments about ourselves, about someone else, or a situation, we end up creating this barrier or this wall, right? Because when you have a judgment, you're separating. So, if you have a judgment of you, you're separating from you. You have a judgment of someone else, you're still creating separation of you because you're eliminating that receiving. So if you want to look at a particular situation, you can, or we can just play with what we call dropping your barriers. Now, I had heard this tool many, many times. And one of the things that I love about Right Voice for You is that we get to play. Sometimes we have a stage and we get to play with many of these Access Consciousness tools, but in a very dynamic way. So we'll do the best we can here. But so imagine, notice right now and just ask, there's no right way or wrong way, but where are your barriers? Do you feel the barriers? Like if you imagined, how thick is that wall? How high is that wall that keeps you separate from you or others? Maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe it's here. Okay, where is it for you? Just notice. Okay, cool. So now just ask, okay? I'm dropping my barriers. And there's no how, just ask to drop them more. And drop them more. And drop them more. And drop them more. And notice where you get to a certain spot and you might think, oh, I've dropped them quite a bit. Or it seems like really solid, like you can't do it no more. This is where I got to a point and thought, oh, I have dropped my barriers. But I was like, if I bring him any lower, I don't know what's going to happen. Like there was a point in my barriers that I was controlling because I did not know what would happen to me if I actually dropped them lower. So I almost imagine myself putting a foot on top and going, okay, and down more and down more and down more and down. and more. And then I remember the very first time I did this, I could feel the tears behind my eyes starting to build up because I was like, those were spaces that I did not want anybody in. Those were the spaces that I was hiding, not only from others, but from me, that I thought were awful and bad. And I kept dropping them and dropping them and dropping them. Yep. And I can feel some of that now too. And then the space changes. And it's almost like there's nothing to really say. So how many lies and whose lies and what lies do we have that make us believe that we have to walk through the world protecting ourselves, separating, and judging? What if none of that is true? What if you chose to walk around with your barriers down? Would you be more aware of where to go, what to say? So, the gift of being together 3 days for a Right Voice for You class is that we get to have home play. So I'll give you one now, and I'm going to invite you throughout your day today. If you go to the market, if you're yelling at your son or talking to your neighbor, notice where your barriers are at. You don't tell them, just you notice for you. And as you're speaking, notice those barriers. And then you drop them. Continue to speak, or they're speaking to you, and drop them more and more, drop them more. And as you drop them, notice what changes in the conversation. Because this is something that I've gotten to see, witness, and acknowledge that the willingness for you to drop your barriers will change everything around you. People will feel different when they're next to you. And there will be a level of connection, say, where they are going to want to contribute to you. There is this simultaneity of gifting and receiving that shows up in a very beautiful way. And, we don't often see it in the world. And what if we could be the beginning of that? So what if it's not about the force and the fight? And just, allowing us to receive more and be aware of what energy, what can I say, what can I do here that will create something greater? So for me, that's the invitation of Right Voice for you to have more of that space for you in your world. So then your business deals, your relationships, like where everything begins to be transformed. So.
Hey guys, did you perceive the change? Let us know here in the chat.
Everyone's all like, I'm feeling sleepy. Is it sleepy or are you relaxed?
Oh, and that's a whole new conversation. And oh my God, thank you so much, Sylvia, for this space that you are. And for sure, when Gary told you, oh, you're the space of allowance that, allowed the lady to speak in English, for sure, being in the class with you, being with you here, being with you everywhere, you are this space, So I'm truly grateful for you, truly grateful for the changes that in my life with all the facilitations that you contributed to me. So thank you so much for being here with us. And I really wonder who here and where else would love to have a Right Voice for You class with Sylvia, because I really would like to invite her to come to Brazil in the second semester. She doesn't know that yet, but she will receive this invitation.
Yes, it's time. It's time for me to go to Brazil.
And what does it take for more of us each day, for more allowance with us, with our intensity, with the beautiful things that we have to offer, and be with the planet, with the earth, and with everyone. Thank you so much for this, Sylvia. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You are so welcome. And what would it be like if all of us had more of our voice and our presence to contribute what we can be to change what's showing up into something greater? So thank you. And I look forward to seeing many of you, hopefully next visit in Brazil or on something online. Yes.
I'm gonna leave to everyone the invitation for the 9 training series. you still can join us. It's going to be
Yes.
beautiful. I'm going to leave you the invitation in links. And as soon as we have the date with Sylvia here in Brazil, we're going to get to you all the information. Okay, guys?
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much,
Monique. Thank you
Carol.
for translating, Estela.
Thank
And
you,
ciao,
Estelle.
everybody.
It was amazing. Thank you guys for being here.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.